You ever get that feeling like you're in a room, everyone's losing their minds with excitement, and you're just not? It's a weird disconnect, right? Well, today, we're going to dive deep into that exact feeling.
I mean, picture it. It's the series finale of that huge show everyone's been talking about. Or, the final seconds of a championship game. The clock hits 0 on New Year's Eve. Everyone just erupts, but for you, it's like you missed the memo on the hype, right?
Yeah, the crowd's roaring, the confetti is falling, and you just feel fine. That's the word, isn't it? Fine. It's not like you're sad or annoyed. It's this weirdly calm, neutral feeling right in the middle of a hurricane of emotions. You can see it, you get why people are excited, but you just don't feel it yourself. You're not absorbing it. So, let's get into that. What is this emotional disconnect all about? We're going to look at why it happens, and, more importantly, how to see it not as some kind of flaw, but as a pretty fascinating part of how some of us are wired. And look, if this sounds like you, if you've ever felt like the odd one out at a celebration, I really want you to hear this. You're not an outsider. You're not broken. It just means you're wired a little differently.
Okay, so let's give this feeling a name, because it's a real thing. It all comes down to the idea of observing an emotion versus absorbing it. It's a subtle but huge difference.
So the term for this is independent emotional regulation. Sounds a bit clinical, I know, but all it really means is that you have this ability to create your own feelings from the inside out. Your emotions are based on your own convictions, not just on the external pressure or the vibe of the room.
You can think of it like there are two main paths to feeling something. The first one is emotion by contagion. It's like an emotional yawn, One person gets excited, and suddenly the whole room catches it. But then there's the other path, emotion by conviction. This is totally different. Here, your feelings come from a real internal place. It's an authentic response that you have to actually feel, not just catch from someone else.
So what's going on in your head when this happens? What's the psychology behind just observing instead of absorbing? Well, it's kind of like you have this internal emotional compass, and no matter how much the world is spinning, it always points to your true north.
It basically breaks down into a few steps. First, something happens, the social cue. The team scores, the band comes on stage, whatever. But instead of just reacting automatically, your brain does this super quick internal check-in. It's almost subconscious. You're asking yourself, wait, do I actually care about this? How do I feel? And only after that little check-in do you have your response. Maybe it's a small smile, maybe it's a nod, or maybe you just keep watching.
And that's the key right there. The volume of the crowd doesn't determine how you feel inside. Your emotional state isn't up for a vote. It's yours and yours alone.
This brings us to a really powerful shift in thinking. It's about reframing this whole experience. What if, instead of thinking, oh, what's wrong with me, you just saw celebration as something that's optional?
Yeah, let's clear up a few things, because people get this wrong all the time. This isn't about being apathetic or cynical. It's about being emotionally selective. It's not about being joyless. It's about resisting that emotional contagion so you can save your real, deep feelings for the things that truly, genuinely matter to you. I mean, just think about that for a second. Celebration is an option, not an obligation. In a world that's always screaming at you about how you're supposed to feel, this is like a quiet little act of rebellion. It's realizing you don't have to pay a social tax of forced enthusiasm. And you know what? This isn't just some neutral personality quirk. When you really get it, you start to see it for what it is, a sign of incredible personal authenticity. It's not a weakness, it's a genuine strength.
So let's put some numbers on it. Let's say the joy you get from external hype, like a big public event, is maybe a 30 out of 100. Sure, it's nice, but it's not life-changing. But the joy that comes from something that has real, personal meaning for you, like finishing that passion project, or a quiet, perfect moment with someone you care about, man, that's a 90. That's the good stuff.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Your authentic emotional response is a strength, not a weakness. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It means your feelings are real, they're anchored to your values. And honestly, in a world that's all about hype, having that kind of anchor, that's a superpower.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. What if we've been looking at celebration all wrong? What if the truest way to celebrate isn't about getting swept up in the biggest, loudest crowd, but about honoring how you actually feel, quietly and confidently?